Okay, let's look at the big questions at the top. Is voter turnout now the key to who wins the Bihar elections? Does turnout in this first phase reveal any concrete voting pattern so far? I'm joined by two of the country's top pollsters and political scientists. I'm joined by Pradeep Gupta, Axis, My India Axis, the man with the magic touch, who hasn't got a poll wrong for years now. Pradeep, good to see you back. Also with us, Dr. Sandeep Shastri, Pro Vice Chancellor, Jain University, and one of the leads of Lokniti CSTS, the country's leading political analysis group. Thank you both very much for joining us. Pradeep Gupta, to you first. Do you see connections between turnouts and outcomes? When you're looking at turnout, it's about 54%, Pradeep, which is seen as moderate. Last time, if you remember, overall turnout in Bihar was about 57. So it's just below that, and this is in Corona times. Any first reactions when you look at turnout, Pradeep?
Yes, definitely, yes, I would say it will definitely impact the outcome of the result when it comes to turnout. Let me tell you why it is so. Because Bihar has never witnessed polling exceeding 57%. That's the highest in 2015 assembly election and also in 2019 general election. That's the highest Bihar has ever witnessed. So why is that so? Being this 90% rural Bihar, 90% population residents in rural Bihar, and generally you see these kind of 55 and so in Delhi, Bombay kind of metros.
So who benefits?
The reason is very simple, because the large chunk of Bihar is the migrant population, and that too they go for the work, studies and work. So this time all of them seems to be turned to Bihar, as many as 30 lakhs to be precise. And it is there is some report which says about 10 to 20% has returned back to the work, and most of them are stayed back. So this is one thing. These are the most of them are the migrant laborer, and there are some students and some working class. They are working from home. So this is one part of it. The another angle to this, what I see is the people will be, some set of people or bunch of people will be reluctant to go and vote and stand in a queue, particularly during Corona time. So this is something very interesting. By and large, in phase 1, voting is similar to the last time in these 71 assembly constituencies, which is around 55%. And I'm sure this figure will get further revised as the final collection is done by the ECI.
Interesting, you're not yet telling me, of course, who benefits from a moderate turnout of about 54-55%. I'll pin you on that in a moment. But let me look at this vote tracker, the turnout tracker that we are showing you. If you see, as Pradeep says, Bihar is, interestingly, for a state so politically surcharged, not a state which sees high voter turnout, not like a Bengal, for example, where turnouts exceed 80%. 95, 62%. This was the peak of Lalu Prasad Yadav. 2000, 63%. February 2005, 47%. October 2005, 46%. 2010, 53%. 2015, 57%. And early, of course, we haven't got the final numbers. This is the first round, around 54%. Sandeep Shastri, do you see a pattern? Is it that the BJP in particular, BJP, JDU, would prefer a higher turnout because then they would like to believe that benefits them in an election like Bihar?
Rajdeep, there is no empirical evidence whether higher turnout or lower turnout supports the incumbent or not. But in this particular case, I would like to make 3 points. Everybody was saying that you may have a lower turnout because of fear about Corona and all that. So turnout does not seem to have reduced. It may have marginally increased. Who is likely to be the beneficiary of this? If I were to look at our opinion poll, it's very visible that the committed voters, especially of the JDU, BJP and RJD, would have gone out and voted. So I think the three major parties would continue to get their committed vote, and that's what is evident if the voting turnout does not increase. For me, if the voting turnout had substantially increased, I would have said this would have been a slight moment of alarm for the NDA, because this would have meant to a certain extent that those who were strongly feeling that we need to go out and assert our vote, migrant population, those who were unhappy with the government, and we have seen the high levels of anti-incumbency. If the voting turnout had increased, it may have reflected in the current situation a slight anti-incumbency sentiment. But if, and as the data shows, there is no major increase of voter turnout, I think it is the committed voters going out and does not really provide any significant advantage to the opposition.
You know, just to push you on that, Dr. Shastri, the committed voters of Bihar are interesting because as we've seen in 2015 also, the BJP vote remained around 24-25%. They seem to have now at least got a rock solid vote. The JDU has its own committed vote of about 12 to 15% at least. And the RJD also has a committed vote of around 25%. So you have two major blocks with 25%, a third with about 15 to 20%. Do you believe that in that sense, Bihar is an extremely polarized electorate where the number of committed voters are probably higher than many other states?
Yes, Rajdeep, you have very high levels of polarization, at least on class and caste lines in Bihar. But let me add another point. I think the anti-establishment in this case, the anti-Nitish Kumar government vote, anti-NDA vote, is getting split between the Mahagathbandhan and the third alliance that is there. And when this vote gets split, the anti-BJP, anti-NDA, anti-JDU vote gets split. I think a not high voter turnout in that sense works to the advantage of the incumbent in this particular case.
Do you believe that, Pradeep? Can we say that with any kind of conviction that the higher the voter turnout, the more likely that there is anti-incumbency?
Rajdeep, actually it varies from state to state. And as Shastriji mentioned, it also depends on the performance of incumbent government. If it is on the negative side or little bit on the negative side, then higher turnout is likely to benefit the challenger. And if the performance of the government is somewhat satisfied, then higher turnout is likely to give benefit to the incumbent. I mean, this is the very simple theory.
Sure, but you know, the reason I'm asking you this,
Bihar,
Pradeep, is, you know, no, the reason I'm asking you, if you look at Yadav population of about 16%, Muslim population of about 17 to 18%, that's about 33-34%, and the principal vote for the RJD in previous years has come from this large chunk. So I'm trying to understand, is there a sense that it's not so much about the turnout, but who comes to vote? If the Muslim and Yadavs come in large numbers, then the RJD, particularly in triangular contests, gets the benefit. But if they don't come out to vote and the upper caste come out to vote in larger numbers, as do the EBCs, which are Nitish Kumar support, the extremely backward caste, then the advantage shifts. So it's not so much of turnout, but we will have to see who has come out to vote. Am I correct?
Yes, you are 100% correct, and in fact that is the reason why I added the migrant laborer case, which is about 30 lakhs, which constitute about 4%. There are about 7 crore plus voters in Bihar, and if you see 30 lakhs came in to Bihar back and about 10 to 20% gone back. So this increased by 4%, and interesting to see if this is increased and whether there is a set of people. Generally, it is generally all over the India, the minority, the Yadavs, the Dalits vote in bulk. They definitely vote in bulk, and their percentage average in India is about 80 to 90%, but it is the OBC and general class, they vote little less, which is around 60s, 60s for OBC and about 50s for general class, the upper class. So it is interesting to see, and it is obvious, whoever is reluctant to go and vote and cast the vote during the corona time, it is more likely the upper class and the OBCs.
Interesting, because, Professor Shastri, there are three categories of voters that people believe one must look at closely in Bihar this time. One is women, who traditionally have voted, it appears in recent elections, very strongly with Nitish Kumar, especially 2010 and 15. Number two is youth, and the youth seem to be the angriest against the Nitish Kumar government because of the issue of unemployment. And the third is the so-called silent voter, the Mahadalits, the EBCs, the poorer communities who traditionally could not go out and vote in pre-1990 Bihar, when strong-arm tactics used to be used by upper caste groups. Do you believe these are the three groups that I just mentioned who could well hold the key to who wins Bihar?
Yes, Rajdeep, very much. And I would add a fourth. Not only are the women votes important, and our opinion poll did show that the NDA had a slight advantage there. Youth vote seems to be very critical, because the less than 25 vote seems to be evenly split among the three main contenders for power. And the third, which you said, the Dalits and the other socially deprived groups, yes, their voting pattern is also critical. But I would add a fourth to that, Rajdeep, which is the minority vote, the Muslim vote. And I think what would be interesting to see is whether the Muslim vote continues to be with the Gathbandhan or gets split between the Gathbandhan and the third alliance, which is also seeking the minority vote, which could then change the equation.
Okay.
One final point, Rajdeep, I would beg to differ a bit from Pradeep ji. I think the impact of corona, or the fear of the impact of corona, would keep the upper caste and the more affluent sections back at home. I don't think that factor is going to impact the economically less privileged sections of society.
I just have a minute, so I'm going to ask you 30 seconds each. Who's winning? Pradeep, you're the man. Everyone is asking me, what is Axis predicting? Who's winning Bihar?
In fact, Rajdeep, I don't have any clue whatsoever at this juncture, because it is not even, food is not even half cooked. It is less than, 25 or 30% seats which has gone for vote today. So it is very difficult at this juncture.
Okay.
Let the polling progress to the second and third phase. I think that by then we will have the better idea.
Okay, Sandeep Shastri, you want to put a number? You want to tell us who you think is winning?
At the current moment, the voter is winning in Bihar, because everybody is chasing this voter, and that's a good feeling that the voter, the biggest power in the democracy, is the one who is most important. But I think at this stage it's too early to really wager your bet on any.
Basically, both of you are playing safe and putting your money, keeping your money in your pocket, which is perhaps the best way to do it, till we wait for Pradeep's exit poll, which will come out on the 7th of November. Everyone waiting and looking forward to the first big verdict after Delhi, of course, in 2020. Thank you both very much. Sandeep Shastri, Pradeep Gupta, for joining me.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.